What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Before we start, as some of you will already know from my latest community post, I am doing a live stream tonight building a computer for an injured Afghan war veteran and viewer of this channel, Sean, also known as Morio Kitson on YouTube. That my Discord server and a few other servers worked together to help him reach his crowdfunding goal so that he could replace his outdated laptop with a decent desktop computer. Since he is unable to build it himself due to his condition, I agreed to build it for him and live stream it so he could be a part of the build process. The stream will start at 8 PM tonight, the 26th of January 2020. Now, since it is not one of my usual politics related live streams, I asked the viewers in the aforementioned community post which channel I should do the live stream on, and they overwhelmingly voted for it to be done on this channel, the main one, rather than my gaming channel. So as per the majority decision, I will be live streaming on this channel later because we honour the democratic choice those who voted made. We ain't Ramonas, remember. So I hope to see some of you there later during the live build, as I will be chatting along with the viewers throughout the process. Now, back to the video. Priti Patel appeared on Sky News this morning talking with a stand-in host for the Sophie Ridge on Sunday show, who it's safe to say is another mainstream media Ramona, that it seems is trying his best to hide his political views, but ends up giving it away completely when the discussion gets to EU alignment, immigration, and the government's plans to end free movement as soon as possible. As you would expect, Priti Patel efficiently shuts down his nonsensical statements and rumours with the hard facts of the referendum result, even after he tries to bring her own heritage into the discussion, because as we all know, she herself hails from a migrant background. But enough talk, let's check out a couple of clips from the interview itself.
And they, as much as others, particularly around the cabinet table, will be looking to the extent to which we as a country diverge from the European Union. I mean, what is your view on all of this? There seems to have been some conflicting messages from government over the past couple of weeks. Do we remain in close alignment with the European Union, or is this the time to make a break for it?
No, there is no disagreement in government at all. We are clear. We are leaving. We'll be taking back control of our laws, our money, our borders. And in terms of
how much will we diverge from the current status quo?
In terms of divergence, let's be very clear about this. We're not having alignment. We will be diverging. We want to take control of our laws, money, our borders. And to do that, we will not be rule takers, Neil. We'll be setting our own laws. And that is a fundamental feature of leaving the European Union. And as I've said already, in the political declaration specifically to the relationship between the UK and the EU, we've set out the direction of travel already. Yes, we'll be entering negotiations, but we've been very clear in terms of that relationship. We want a Canada-style free trade arrangement, and we want to have, we want to achieve those shared aims as outlined in the political declaration.
So where will the divergence take place?
Well, look, I'm not going to speculate now. We're about to enter a negotiation, and this isn't about identifying particular areas. We've been clear that when it comes to our agricultural policy, we will have independence. We've been clear when it comes to our immigration policy, we're taking back control. We'll have our own immigration policies. We'll have a points-based system, one that the British government is in charge of. These are the fundamental tenets of leaving the EU. We've been very clear about that. In the very week, of course, that the withdrawal bill, the Act, was passed through Parliament, we are leaving. We're going to stop being a rule taker, and we will now have newfound freedoms where we can set out our own course, our own path for independence, and that also means divergence, non-alliance across a range of areas through a range of negotiations that we'll be entering.
Well, the Sky News host makes the claim the Tory government is having disagreements with each other about future alignment, when I doubt that is true, as I have not seen any credible reports of this. And, like Priti Patel states, it's pure fantasy. Even Remainers in the Tory party now know that going against Boris Johnson or the electorate is going to mark the end of your political career pretty quickly. If the government's plan is no alignment, then every Tory MP is going to toe that line, because it would be lunacy not to. Look what happened to the Ramona MPs at the election last month. I know the Labour Party are not learning from that election, but it would appear for the moment the Tories are. You can see the host is desperate to find out where the UK will diverge from the EU, as we all are, but his motives differ from ours, I think. He seems desperate to know because he is worried Brexit is actually going to be Brexit. For 3 years, they have all thought the only Brexit we would get is Maybot's Brexit in name only, or Remain. They never planned for Boris and the current situation, where he could get something close to a real Brexit via a magic deal if Boris can actually do it. Failing that, it will be a no-deal Brexit, or finally, it could actually be a Brexit in name only. Boris Johnson is a politician after all, so while I don't think it's likely he will deliver a Brino, it is always possible. And we should never forget that fact. But the good thing about government ministers coming on TV refuting these mainstream media tosspot claims are that these promises they give us of taking back control is evidence we can use. So if they don't, we can take them to the cleaners. So thanks Priti Patel, if we don't take back control, Boris is right in the shit, that is for sure. But let's move on and check out the host's feelings towards immigration.
Yeah, why do we want immigration numbers to come down? I mean, it strikes me, your own personal remarkable story, your parents, fleeing Idi Amin, coming here to the United Kingdom, and just a few short decades later, here you are as Home Secretary. It strikes me that the Priti Patel story makes a rather good case for continued immigration, perhaps even at the levels that we are now. We know that immigrants are net contributors to the economy.
Right, let's just address the stupidity of his comment there before we hear from Priti Patel. He takes no time in showing us he went to the school of woke that thinks uncontrolled immigration is a great thing because in his little bubble, immigration does not affect him. But I'm really not sure how he's correlating EU immigration to Priti Patel's situation. Last I checked, Priti Patel did not come from an EU background. So the EU's free movement of people would not have benefited her family, would it, you complete idiot? And as he said himself, her family fled Idi Amin. They was not economic migrants, which is what this discussion is about. The fact that they had to flee their own country makes them refugees, you soft twat. How can a Sky News host be so dense that he did not spot the major differences between low-skilled EU migrants in 2020 to refugees decades ago fleeing a despotic warlord? But it does seem to be a common theme these days with the left and mainstream media fuckpigs confusing economic migrants with genuine refugees who did not pass through 10 safe countries to get to the UK where they can make the most money. But let's hear Priti Patel rubbish his attempts to compare historic immigration with the EU's current model.
Well, we know also that people that come to our country with the right skills obviously contribute in many ways. This isn't about comparing what our plans and intentions are right now with a points-based system with previous histories on immigration. The fact of the matter is we're leaving the European Union, which means free movement will end. And that also means we will be able to control the level of unskilled migration that has come to the United Kingdom. And quite frankly, that has come to the United Kingdom in many ways that, yes, may have contributed and has contributed to the economic growth of our nation, but also now puts a spotlight on the type of skills that we need to grow our labour market, to be a successful economy going forward, to continue on our economic growth, but also to make sure, yes, we have the right skills, but that British businesses as well grow and invest in the British public too. They have been far too reliant on low-skilled and, quite frankly, cheap labour from the EU, and we want to end that. We think it's about time that businesses started to invest in people across the whole of the United Kingdom, that they join with us on our agenda to level up the skills, the infrastructure, the economic growth across all our regions, promote growth across the whole of the United Kingdom. And that is one of the key opportunities that we have when we leave the EU through the immigration system, the points-based system that we will be bringing. Yes, supporting the brightest and the best, but also encouraging British industry to do more, to invest in capital, in people, in human capital, and the skills that our country and our economy needs in the long run.
Well, Priti Patel paid very little attention to his attempts to use her story in order to push the Remainers' agenda. That uncontrolled immigration is great, and shuts it down by rightly stating you cannot compare current immigration with historic immigration policies, before pointing out that immigrants from any nation should not be the priority of immigration policy, but instead British business should focus on employing the people already here, rather than the cheap labour flooding the country from the EU. I mean, let's be honest, this Sky News host is smart enough to know when mass immigration stops, wages can rise, which helps the people here. It's about time that was the focus of government and the media, though I don't think the media will ever do that. They only care about their own agenda, which are not agendas shared by the vast majority of this country. Their wokeness makes us all sick, and the EU lobbyies among them are some of the lowest pond scum this country has ever known. Septic spot on the arse of humanity comes to mind. But I still can't get over his attempts to bring Priti Patel's heritage into this discussion around EU migration, which, as I've said, is not in any way related to her family's passage here, and just shows how pathetic they are willing to be in the hope that anyone who might have heritage from somewhere else might jump on the bandwagon with them. I bet it really pisses off the woke ones like this Sky News tit here, because Priti Patel is not like that, and I don't think ever would be. She is smart enough to know what immigration is good for a country and what is bad. And let's not forget, she is doing what the country voted for, with her points-based immigration system and ending freedom of movement. You know, some of the things people didn't know they was voting for. What an absolute dickhead this guy is. Talk about struggle to hide your clear bias towards the EU and the Remain perspective. Perhaps he is angling for a job at the BBC or Channel 4 next. Who knows? But on that note, guys, I am going to end the video there. As some of you will know, I have started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you are interested in joining me for a chat in real time during one of my live streams, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or simply want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link to subscribe will be down in the video description and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now, as always, I want to thank our YouTube, PayPal, Patreon and Subscribestar members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.
Ramon! Ramon!